Hey y'all, it's just me T. So this video is going to be a little different than what my usual videos are because this is more girl talk, woman talk. So if you aren't comfortable with talking about like birth control and just that kind of stuff that goes with birth control, sex, everything like that, then I would probably stop watching this. And if you're under 18, just don't watch this video at all. But this is like girl talk, so yeah, video, but I really want to, for the sake of what I believe to be true with this stuff, talking about my birth control journey and how that's affected me and how I'm changing that and everything like that. And I think a lot of people, when I would research this stuff, right, because I've been on birth control for 11 years and I want to get off of it, and I was researching for people who have been on it for so long, and I really couldn't find any information or like any stories from people who've been on it for such a long time. It's always been, I was on for 5 years, on for 2 years. Didn't help me. So I want to document my journey on getting off birth control after 11 years and what that looks like. Document that journey for everyone who's going through it, and then people who are hesitant off getting off birth control who need, just a little bit of encouragement for that. So without further ado, let's get started. So my birth control journey. I was put on birth control at 17 because I had a period that just did not go away. It came and just stayed, and it was just bleeding nonstop for a month and a half, and it was horrible. If you guys have a period, you know how horrible that is, and then to have to do it for a month and a half is not fun. So my mom took me to the doctor, and with my family history of ovarian cancer and cervical cancer, a lot of female reproductive issues, my mom was concerned. So she took me to the doctor, and they're like, well, considering your family history, the best thing for you to do is to be on birth control. And I was like, okay, I was 17, and my mom said it was good and it was okay. Like, I'm gonna trust my mom. So we did it. It was fine. She's like, and she's going to college soon, and I'd rather her be protected of that. So I was like, cool, whatever. Stayed on birth control all through college. When I got with my now husband, I still stayed on it, but there was a switch. I think they changed the name of my birth control, and that's when I started noticing a slight decline in things that I didn't like. And I can't tell if it's because I was younger or if it's because I've been on birth control so long, or it was a slight switch. But I was just felt like I was moodier. And granted, I am a very moody person. Hello, being a Gemini. But I'm already a moody person, and on top of that, it was like I was extra moody. I was extra sensitive. I was having lash outs with my husband. I just noticed a decrease in my sex drive. I noticed a decrease in just motivation. I just did not have any energy, and I couldn't attribute to what it was, right? So I was like, okay, been on birth control when I was younger, I didn't really feel these issues, but now I'm starting to feel them. And so I was like, I want to see what I'm like without birth control. I've been on it for 11 years. I feel like important, crucial years of my growing up in like my young 20s, like late teens, early 20s, and mid 20s, I was all on birth control. So my body, when it was still going through these changes, was on hormones. So I just was like, you know what? I want to stop birth control and or hormonal birth control, right? I want to see what I'm like without it. I want to see what happens, right? It's been 11 years. My period gonna go back to what it was, right? I had a very inconsistent period. It was irregular. If one time it didn't show up for 3 months. I didn't have a period, and it just like magically just came out of nowhere. I had really bad cramps. I had a really heavy bleeding. My period lasted for 7 days. So I'm curious to see if those things are gonna come back. And I feel like it's been so long since I've had like an actual period. I don't even know what my body is like without birth control pills. And you hear all these horror stories and people not being able to get pregnant after they got birth control, or like they have all these complications, they develop PCOS. It's just like they develop all these things. It's scary. And so I was like, okay, we're not planning to have kids like in the future, yes, but not like the immediate future. So I was like, okay, let's get off birth control now and let's just see what happens. Like the worst thing that could happen is I have to go back on birth control until we are absolutely ready to start trying for a kid. But I want to see what it's gonna be like. I want to see if my sex drive increases and if I have more motivation and more energy. And I really want to learn my body. I feel like I don't know my body because it's been on pills. It's been on hormonal pills, and that's something important, I think, for me. So as of right now is where if you guys know what the combination pills are for birth control, you have the fake period I'm on that right now. So once that pack is done and once I'm done taking the placebo pills, I'm officially done with birth control. And I think that starts like the 1st or 2nd of January. So literally I am going into the new year birth control free, or hormonal birth control. I'll talk about my journey and the things I'm going to be using and everything like that to supplement the birth control that I was having. And I think it's important to talk about these things. I feel like it's really taboo to talk about birth control and talk about family planning, and it's something that every woman needs to talk about, especially if you are married or in a serious relationship and you're thinking about trying for kids, or thinking about these things, or you just want to know how to take care of your body, right? We as women, I don't think we're taught these things, right? We're not taught that our cycles are actually a month-long cycle and not a 24-hour cycle, right? The 24-hour day is usually for men. Women don't operate in a 24-hour cycle. We operate in a monthly cycle. We have a monthly cycle that we follow, and that's usually how our body rotates, and we don't learn that. I didn't know that at all. I wasn't taught. I don't even know if my mom knows, and if she did, we never really talked about it. There's phases that you go through, and to be able to, I feel it's more empowering to go through that. So I'm going to be doing some book reading and just learning my body. I think one of the books that was recommended to me, especially by my therapist, was Beyond the Pill. I'm going to get that. I'll show it over here. It's something I have not read yet, so I'm not going to say I like it or I'm for it, but I have heard people say that it was one of the best books they've read. So as of right now, when I get off my pills and I'm done with pills, I'm not just going completely non-birth control free. I am going to be using something called Natural Cycles, which is a non-hormonal birth control that's FDA approved, and it's the sense that it takes your you take your temperature first thing in the morning, and because your body temperature changes, and usually when you're ovulating is usually when you don't want to do the dirty, because you know that's a higher chance for pregnancy. So it kind of tracks it that way, and it's good because it prevents pregnancy, but it also helps with pregnancy, or helps track when you're ready to get pregnant. So right now in our stage right now in our marriage, we're not ready for kids. Right now it's going to be helping us prevent pregnancy. But when we're ready to start trying for kids, we can actually get to the point where it's helping us to get pregnant. So I like it because I like a 2-in-1. I wanted to have it ordered before I got off my birth control. I wanted to be able to figure it out, get it all situated and everything like that. So this is the package it came in, Natural Cycles. You open it and it's like, voila. Yeah, so it gives you a thermometer. There's 2 options you can buy. You could buy just the monthly subscription, or you can just buy it flat out and you get a thermometer with it. And this is a thermometer that they use to check your temperature. So what you do is you take your temperature and you record it into the app, and it learns your body. Also with this, and this is things I never had to do, obviously, because I've never tried to get pregnant or tried to do any of this stuff. I've always been on birth control pills. So one of the things that I had to do was get ovulation test strips, and I had to get these. So I got these from Amazon for like $9, and it has 50 ovulation tests and 20 pregnancy tests. Don't need those right now, but I guess they'll come in handy if we have a whoops. So yeah, it tells you in the app. It was like, you don't have to do it, but if you take your ovulation test strips, it'll tell you, hey, take your ovulation test strip and record in the app, because it doesn't know your body yet and it has to kind of regulate. So when I logged into the app, because all done through an app, when I logged into the app, it's very easy to work. But when I did it, it asked you, hey, are you on birth control right now? What kind of birth control are you on? You tell that you're on. It says, hey, we're going to put you on a demo mode. When does your pack end? And I said my pack ends this day. And it's like, okay, cool. So you're going to be on demo mode until this day. We'll remind you when it's time for you to start using the app. Will send you reminders, and then you'll be able to go full-fledged. And it gives you kind of an overview, and it gives you little tips and bits, and it helps you do that. And you can also type in the days you've had sex unprotected, and just kind of like helps you regulate. If you're like on your period, you could type in the symptoms you're having and what you're feeling the days of your ovulations, just so you can better know. It really helps you put it all into one, and I think that's my problem. I can't do everything in my head. My head has too much stuff. So it's all in there. So I have yet to actually use it in the sense of me actually taking my temperature in the morning, because I'm still technically on birth control. I wanted to just do a video and talking about this, because I feel like it's something that I did not get a lot of support, in the sense that I didn't have people who were on it for that long. Like talking to my mom, it was great, but she was never on birth control for as long as I was on. So it was like I didn't have that. And so just from what I've been reading, I'm talking to my doctor, you know, it takes about 3 months for your period. So it could take up to 3 months for your period to come. And also it can take up to 6 months for your body to regulate itself. So if we plan on having kids, let's say in a year, or want to try for kids in a year, that gives my body a year to figure out if things are good, if we need to be concerned. That's pretty much it. I will be writing a blog post about this as well if you prefer to actually read it instead of listening to me blabble on. Excited to doc this show what it's like life after birth control, after being on it for 11 years. I feel like that's a substantial amount of time. And most, like 11 years is a decade of your life that you have been on pills, and I've never stopped taking them. I've been on them since 17. I'm 28 now, and I will be 29 in 2022, so I'm getting off of it before. So I'm like 11 and a half years right now of birth control, almost 12 years. So it's a little like iffy, it's a little scary. So definitely happy about this choice. I'm very nervous because I don't know how I'm going to react. I've read so many horror stories. That's probably the wrong thing to do, is read the horror stories or the you know, the outliers in a statistic. So yeah, just want to document that. So comment below or anything if you are curious, anything you want me to talk about with birth control, my experiences with birth control. I could do a video on that too. I'm probably gonna do a blog post because it's a little bit easier to type for me than talk. But yeah, that's all I wanted to do. So if I don't see you in the new year, happy new year, happy holidays. Have a great rest of your year. It's almost over. 2022 is here. And yeah, I will talk to you all later. Have a great day, great week, and happy new year. And stay tuned for more information on my birth control journey. Peace.